Hello everyone, welcome to Poly and You online lecture series. This is Dr. Perolin from the School of Hotel and Tourism Management here at the Hong Kong Polytechnic University. I'm going to take you to travel around the world with wonderful food. Please join me. Food as a universal language in world tourism, right? We often think of iconic food that we are craving for while traveling to a destination. Do you love to eat? A famous chef, cookbook writer Julia Child said, "People who love to eat are always the best people. This is why we are here for." In this section, I'm going to take you to travel and find out the best of its cuisine from over different countries and cities. The world is a book, and those who do not travel only read one page. Do you love to travel? We are very lucky to be here in Hong Kong, where we can find many great cuisine from east or west. Here we have over 60 Michelin-star restaurants, and with the top quality and standards. In addition, Hong Kong Airport, one of the best airports in the world, with very competitive prices, you can always find a great way to go somewhere for a weekend or for long holidays. So what are we waiting for? Before we take off to travel, I have a question for you. Please think about it. What makes a great travel experiences? This is very easy to think, right? Many people will say great food and great hospitality or services make a great travel experiences. But do you know, food plays a major role in tourist destination choices. You know, food can represent a local culture, generate destination revenue, and also enhance visitors' experiences. And sometimes, food spending can represent up to 1/3 of tourist travel expenditure. This demonstrates the importance of food consumption in tourism industry. So, what is food tourism? A desire to experience a particular type of food or the produce of specific region. So what are we waiting for? Let's go. So in this section, I'm going to take you from appetizer, followed by the soup, and then the main course, ending with beautiful desserts. So let's have our first course as a starter. So today, you can see from the map here, and these are the places we are going to visit for fried chicken. You know, there are many different kinds of fried chicken. Just imagine the crispy and crunchy taste, the saltiness, the juicy, mouthful watering hot chicken. Fried chicken can sometimes just eat alone by itself, and sometimes you can also eat with beautiful hot sauces. So follow me. Today, we are going to travel to Buffalo for the beautiful buffalo wing, hot and spicy in the United States. And we are also going to Taiwan for the fried chicken and Korea for the beautiful Korean drama. No, the Korean chicken. And also Japanese karaage is a type of fried chicken too. There are countless types of fried chicken. I would like to share with you top 4 fried chicken from my own bucket list I believe you should try when you visit the following countries and cities. Number 1 is USA for the buffalo wing, and for the Korea, must eat a fried chicken, and also Taiwanese fried chicken is also very tasty, and also Japan karaage. So number 1, United States. The deep fried chicken had long been a staple of Southern cooking in American cuisines. But the concept of cooking chicken wing in the peppery hot sauces was born in 1964 at Anchor Bar in Buffalo, New York State. So when the co-owner Benissimo, he finished his work and then he just cooked the leftover chicken wing in deep fry and finished with some peppery hot sauces, and also served with blue cheese and celery stick. That was so good. Their family and friends love it. So the next day, he put it on the menu, and then it became a very popular item. Nowadays, you can enjoy buffalo wing in many different bars and restaurants in the United States. So in America, when you reach age 21, you can definitely order chicken wing, buffalo chicken wing, and make sure have a pint of beer to go with it. It's a perfect to go with it. So do you love buffalo wing? After buffalo wing, let's go to Korea. Korea, think of Korean drama. The most iconic food to eat is a Korean fried chicken. Chicken, a word was from English, refers to variety of fried chicken. Usually there are two kinds of fried chicken in Korean cuisine. One is a normal fried chicken, looks more like a KFC type of fried chicken, and another one is a spicy Yonghyun chicken. That can be consumed as a meal or as a starter or as a snack. But the concept of fried chicken was introduced when American military was stationed in Korea in early 50s. The U.S. troops stationed in Korea only had a chicken instead of turkey for their Thanksgiving. So they decided to fry it and then share with their Korean friends. And so for Korean who never have the fried chicken, they feel, wow, this is so different. Because Korean traditionally, they ate chicken either steamed or boiled, and usually in the soup or broth. So fried chicken was a new concept for them. The popularity of fried chicken in Korea was after early 1970, when the chicken was much cheaper and then they have oil and everything was more accessible. But the special thing about Korean chicken is they coat it in the flour and potato starch with the batter. So outside has a thick skin, then they deep fried it. After that, they have a peppery hot sauces and to mix it together with the syrup and vinegar. So that's why it tastes so different. Unlike the buffalo wing. Buffalo wing is more spicy, but the Korean chicken has a combination of sweetness, sour, and chili. And they usually eat with pickled radish. So when we think of buffalo wing, eat with the fresh celery stick, but for the Korean, they have it with the pickled radish. And of course, icy cold beer would be the perfect one. So the next one I want to share with you is a karaage. Karaage is a Japanese cooking technique. It's a deep fry. That can be any type of food. That can be chicken, fish, or other type of meat. But historically, in Japan, they do not have a lot of deep fry until the Portuguese introduced the deep fry cooking method. And in Japan, they use the sesame oil for deep fry instead of canola oil from the Portuguese culture. So that was very interesting, how the culture influenced from another culture. So the karaage in Japanese fried chicken, usually they season with soya sauce. Mirin is a type of sweet rice wine, and then also some ginger. So they usually lightly coat it with some flour or potato starch for deep fry. And then after fried it, they can have it some salad on the side and also a wedge of lemon. And sometimes for the dressing, they use mayonnaise as a dressing to dip with. How about Taiwanese fried chicken? Taiwanese fried chicken is a must-try item. Unlike typical American fried chicken, Taiwanese fried chicken is normally marinated, similar idea with the karaage, the Japanese style. Garlic, ginger, soya sauce, sugar, rice wine, and a little bit black vinegar. But the special thing about Taiwanese fried chicken is usually they consist with some bone in the olden time, but nowadays not so many bone anymore. But another thing is Taiwanese fried chicken usually coat with sweet potato powder. So earlier I mentioned Japanese, they coat with a potato starch, and in Korea, they also coat it with some potato starch, some of the recipe. But Taiwanese coat with sweet potato starch. Why is that? Because in Taiwan, sweet potato was a main agricultural product in the olden time. So sweet potato starch, in fact, has a very crumbly looking and then give a lot of texture. But another special thing about Taiwanese fried chicken is usually after deep fried it, we put the fresh basil and then also deep fried it together. And also season with white salt, pepper, and some chili powder if you like. Okay, so these 4 types of fried chicken are all dipped in different kind of starches. But the only thing except buffalo wing. Buffalo wing is the one usually fried naked. So that's how they call it, fried naked. So that means the buffalo wing did not fry with any powder together. They just go ahead to deep fry it without any flour, unlike Korean chicken. Okay, so these are the special things. But all of these 4 types of fried chicken is really good to go with any kind of icy cold drink, especially beer. So you can see in buffalo wing definitely go with beer. Korean fried chicken is also go with beer. Japanese is also go with beer. But Taiwanese one is also go with beer. So I guess when you are reaching the age 18 at least, in some country most of the time is 18, and then in America it's 21, you can drink beer. So next time, when you visit these 4 different places, make sure have a try of their fried chicken. So the next one, after we are having a beautiful fried chicken, right? Now, let's have some soup. So in this map, you can see today, I'm going to show you 3 different kinds of soup. Number 1, let's go to France for the French onion soup, and then followed by Thailand Tom Yum soup, and then followed by the beautiful Sichuanese cuisine, hot and sour soup. Let's go. So let's have some soup. French onion soup, the origin of French onion soup in fact has been around it since ancient Rome. So there are many stories about French onion soup. One tells that Nicolas Albert, the inventor of canning, who met the Duke of Lorraine at the hotel, and Albert prepared the onion soup for the Duke. And he loved it so much, so he went into the kitchen to observe how he prepared the onion soup. Then he can, reproduce it at home. So in 1831, Albert released a cookbook that dedicated onion soup to the Duke. So personally, I love this onion soup very much. You can see from this photo here, this is the onion soup I made at home. So onion soup usually use a lot of butter and fresh onion and then some stock and then to cook it very, very slowly. After the onion soup is ready, on the top you can see there is a croton, is a type of bread. Usually you can use a baguette, and then on the top you put a lot of cheeses and then bake in the oven. It's really, really hot. Okay, so when you enjoy this onion soup, I think the best time is winter or a very cold, raining day. Okay, so next time when you go to France or any kind of French bistro, you can certainly find French onion soup. It's a must-try item. So let's go to Southeast Asia, Thailand. Thailand. When you think of Thailand, I'm sure Tom Yum is one of the keywords you would know from the Thai cuisine, right? Tom Yum is a soup normally including with shrimp in hot and sour type of soup. And the word of Tom Yum means boiling and mixture, okay? Tom, you can see from the PowerPoint here, meaning boiling. And then Yum means the mixture. It's a type of the method. So Tom Yum Goong is a spicy shrimp soup. And in 2020, they applied the UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage List. So hopefully they do get it. And Tom Yum, in fact, the recipe was back to 131 years ago, back to 1890. Okay, it's a very good idea to see how the shrimp and fish store mushroom and put it together to create this beautiful soup. And you can see in Tom Yum soup, they also use a lot of spice and fresh herbs. And one of the spices is chili. Very interesting thing is, Thai chili is not an indigenous ingredient. In fact, I guess there are many things to do with the Portuguese culture. Thai chili was the chili was introduced by the Portuguese in 16th century. Can you believe that? So one more. I also want to share with you, Chinese culinary technique also have a strong influence to Thai cuisine. For example, stir fry. When you see pad Thai, the idea of stir frying and steaming was all from the Chinese cooking technique. And Indian spice and certainly give the Thai curry has a lot of influential ideas. So next time when you visit Southeast Asia, for example, Thailand and many other neighboring countries, they also have their very own special curries. Make sure you do try their curries. It's very, very tasty. So after the French onion soup and then also Thai tom yum soup, and let's go for the most famous hot and sour soup. There are many different versions of hot and sour soup in Chinese cuisine. And some people say you can try hot and sour soup from Beijing or from Sichuan or from Shandong, many different places. But the most iconic one, I would believe, is hot and sour soup from Sichuan cuisine. And there is a story about the hot and sour soup. In the warring state period back to 300 BC, wow, my goodness, that was so long ago. It turns out that after Wei army entering the battle in the village of Ecstasy, and the entire army were trapped in that place for 3 days, 3 nights. Everyone was losing all the power and they were unable to figure out how can they get out of this village. And during that time, a very old wise man shared a recipe, or you can say prescription. Tell them you can try to cook this soup for your team, your army, and then they may recover. So the chief army immediately ordered his team to go to prepare this soup. That was a hot and sour soup. And by putting the vinegar as more like a medicine feeling to enhance their appetite. So after everyone having this soup, all the soldiers were supple-minded and finally they can escape from this ecstasy. The soup was effective in filling battles and was hot and sour delicious. So it was become a local delicacy. But of course, I'm sure there are many stories about hot and sour, but I think this is one of the best. So do you love hot and sour or French onion soup or tom yum soup? And next time, when you visit not only China, but I'm sure in Hong Kong, you can also try the best hot and sour soup here in many different restaurants. So are you ready for our main course today? Let's go. So in this map, we were visiting many different places, but I'm going to take you to 3 important places. Number 1, you can see in Ireland or UK or Australia, shepherd's pie. And number 2, we're gonna go to have some fish and chip from the United Kingdom. And number 3, let's have some banh mi. It's a Vietnamese sandwich. So let's go. Shepherd's pie. The name just cannot make you wondering anything related with sheep, right? Shepherd's pie is originally from the sheep countries like Ireland and United Kingdom, northern part of England like Scotland. And it is baked meat pie and usually can be the minced meat. So what kind of minced meat? It's a lamb. And then on the top of it has a very thick layer of mashed potato on top. Shepherd's pie first came about in late 17th centuries and early 18th. According to some history, many people believe that was a person's wife who invented this pie because they just want to repackage their leftover and from their Sunday roast. But some people also believe shepherd's pie is certainly come with a very special leftover and make a good use. The result was so good. So how did they make a shepherd's pie? First, they have the gravy and then go with a lot of minced lamb and then they cook it together like a stew. Then they put on the baking tray. On the top, they have a very thick layer of mashed potato and bake in the oven. And then the crust of mashed potato on the top, and then the bottom is so rich and creamy of the minced meat. So sometimes you can also hear there is another pie very similar to shepherd's pie. It's called cottage pie. Cottage pie is a very similar concept, but cottage pie use minced beef instead of minced lamb. So shepherd's pie is definitely a very worth to try in Australia or Ireland or United Kingdom. So are you ready for fish and chips? Do you know fish and chips is a very special thing, and it's the thing you cannot miss in the United Kingdom when you visit UK. The National Fish and Chips Day is the first Friday of June. Fish and chip consists of fried fish in a batter and then served with chips. Chips, what they say, is more like a French fry, right? The dish originally was created in England in 1860. It is believed that the original fish and chip was created by a Jewish immigrant from Holland. The meal tend to be more like a treat these days, although in the olden time, people do not have a lot of time to cook for the family dinner, and then it's a very inexpensive way to, prepare for dinner. So today, you can definitely taste the best of fish and chip anywhere. But of course, certainly when you visit United Kingdom. And the special thing about fish and chip is not just fish and chips. It also served with a very special condiment. That can be curry sauce, and also mashed peas, and also, what else? Malt vinegars. So that make it, the fish and chip has a many different flavor and textures. So next time, make sure you do try that. So the next one I want to share with you, I'm sure you have a lot of sandwich before, right? But banh mi is certainly a thing I love to share with you, a Vietnamese cuisine. Banh mi refers to a very short baguette. Baguette is a type like a French bread, and then eating as a staple food in a Vietnamese cuisine. And this type of sandwich has a big influence from French. So first, when they have this banh mi, the half size of baguette, they open it and then they inside put some pork sausage, some coriander, or you can call cilantro, cucumber, pickled carrots, pickled radish, and also the condiment from French cuisine, pâté, along with chili, mayonnaise. So that makes it so special because you can taste a little bit Asian taste, but also very French flavor of pâté. So the baguette was first introduced in 19th century. So during 1950, Vietnamese style sandwich was developed in Saigon. So it became a popular street food known as banh mi Saigon. So next time when you visit Vietnam, make sure you do try that. And one more interesting I want to share with you is Vietnamese cuisine is one of the healthiest type of cuisine around the world. And Vietnamese cuisine was heavily influenced by the Chinese culture and also the Western, like French cultures. And there are 5 key elements how they think of Vietnamese cuisine, how they call 5 fundamental and taste sense. Like called spicy refers to metal, and then sour refers to wood, bitter refers to fire, and salty refers to water, and sweet refers to earth. So correspondingly, that related reflect to our 5 organs in our body. So the principle of yin-yang is also applied in Vietnamese cooking. It's also a way how they believe the balance of cooking, the heat, and then also the cold item can beneficial to their bodies. So after our main course, let's go for our dessert. Are you ready? So in this section, I'm going to bring you to Australia and New Zealand, find the best dessert. And then also to Italy, as well as finish in UK. So pavlova. Pavlova is the one you can see from the picture here. It's a marine-based cake. Marine was made from egg white and sugar. So it's a very fluffy type of cake, and then served with whipped cream and fruit on the top of this creamy dessert. It's very hard to hate this dessert. In fact, it's so well loved. Australian and New Zealander, both of them, they think this dessert represents to their country. So now, you can, when you visit Australia or New Zealand, you definitely can see this dessert. And both of countries, they claim this dessert is a great invention to honor the Russian ballerina Anna Pavlova. So when you see this dessert in Australia or New Zealand, do not feel surprised, just enjoy it. Another dessert I believe everyone knows is called tiramisu. Literally means pick me up or lift me up. Tiramisu is made with egg, sugar, ladyfinger, and mascarpone cheese, also the coffee, and also cocoa. There are many different stories about the origin of tiramisu. The most well-known of tiramisu was in 1960 in the region of Veneto, Italy, at a restaurant called Le Beccherie. Others claim that was created towards to the end of 17th century in Siena in honor of Grand Duke Cosimo III. And now we can enjoy this dessert almost anywhere. It is the most popular dessert around the world, I must say. Next time, when you have opportunity to visit Italy, make sure try the origin of tiramisu. Afternoon tea. Why do I choose afternoon tea to share with you? Because I believe the afternoon tea has a very great combination, and then also the beautiful story of great afternoon tea. Afternoon tea was started in mid-18th century by Duchess of Bedford. Around this time, when there was a fashion to eat late dinner, around 8 or 9 p.m. So it is very easily to get hungry during afternoon time. The Duchess of Bedford noticed sinking feeling in the late afternoon. So she had a cup of tea and make some small finger sandwich to keep her on hunger until dinner time. So they start to asking each other, visiting their houses, and then having a beautiful afternoon tea. Today, you can go anywhere in a 5-star hotel or a small restaurant to enjoy your afternoon tea. So when you try the afternoon tea, you will see in the bottom usually is a beautiful finger sandwich, and in the middle usually is a scone and served with a butter, cottage cream, and then also jam. On the top, you can see the fancy dessert. So the idea of having this afternoon tea is usually start from the bottom, from the savory to sweet, and then the flavor from light to heavy, and then choose the things, the lighter flavor. For example, you have the strawberry cake and then the chocolate cake, then you would definitely start with the strawberry cake. So do you remember that? Next time when you try afternoon tea, make sure to practice that. And some people also say, I want a high tea. So just for your information, high tea, during that time, high tea was for more like a working class people, because they were sitting in the kitchen and then sitting on the high chair and on the kitchen corner and just have a cup of tea and then with some kind of hearty dishes. For example, a big sandwich or a pie and to eat with. Unlike the low tea like this, we can see the 3 different layers and beautiful atmosphere to enjoy with. So do you enjoy these 3 desserts? Let's go for our next items. So can you guess where are these milk tea come from? The first one on the top is the tea with condensed milk. This is a Thai milk tea. It's also called Thai iced tea. Made from the Ceylon tea and condensed milk and sugar, and that can be served hot or cold. Some people say the orange color of Thai iced tea come from the food coloring, but nobody really, certified that points. But second one is a bubble milk tea. Why do I introduce bubble milk tea? Bubble milk tea originally was created in Taichung in Taiwan in 1980s. The bubble means tapioca. In the early stage of bubble milk tea was made from creamer powder. When you have the coffee, in the olden time, you don't have the, milk or creamer. Instead, you have the creamer powder, more like a milk powder. So it's much less costly to make this kind of milk tea. So that was become a very popular item. Now around the world, you can find bubble tea anywhere. But for the health issue, nowadays people try to use fresh milk in order to charge higher prices. And then the third one is tea with milk. It's a very typical English tea come with milk. It's a very common beverage in the British culture. Last but not least, Hong Kong milk tea. I love Hong Kong milk tea. The tea culture in Hong Kong influenced by Eastern and Western cultures. Hong Kong milk tea is made with evaporated milk. And so it gives a very smooth taste and then also creamy taste. The fun fact, when we look at how much tea the Hong Kong people consume per year, do you know? Hong Kong is ranked number 12 for the world tea consumption. Every year per person, you consume around 650 grams, like a big bag of tea. Do you do that? So next time when you enjoy tea, think about the tea culture. So today I bring everyone travel around the world. So let's back to Hong Kong. Here we get some idea of how food is an universal language in world tourism. At the same time, I would like to encourage you to think how we can introduce our Hong Kong culture and food to our tourists. What are the best of Hong Kong, and what are the must-try items from Hong Kong, and what are the interesting facts to learn about Hong Kong? Let's have a look. According to Time Out magazine, the top 8 Hong Kong dishes for tourists here to try is number 1, dim sum. I know, I think the best thing about dim sum is you can eat in early morning, late afternoon. You can always find the best dim sum in Hong Kong. And number 2 is the barbecue meat. Whether you are in Cha Chan Ting, small restaurant, upscale restaurant, barbecue meat is always a must-try item. Curry fish ball, a very popular street food, and egg tart. Unlike Portuguese egg tart made from pork pastry, Hong Kong egg tart is not as flaky, but it's also very delicious type of egg tart. And pineapple palm, and warm pineapple palm served with icy cold salty butter. What a great combination here. And wonton noodle, number 6. Stuffed with a large shrimp. This wonton noodle is definitely a must-try item for people who visit Hong Kong. Number 7, egg waffle. A very creative and tasty egg waffle deserves a big round of applause here because you can eat egg waffle in sesame flavor, chocolate flavor, or the original flavor. Egg waffle definitely a must-try item. Last but not least, milk tea again. So milk tea, next time any friend come to Hong Kong, the first thing is milk tea. So do you get these points? Today, we travel around the world and find out many different fun food and enjoy their culture. I'm sure you are also hungry now. When we plan a journey, there are many steps we can take. To choose a destination, we might start with the transportation and how we get there by boat, by train, or just fly, right? And then number 2, where to stay. Nowadays, people love to stay in local, for example, in UK, you can try bed and breakfast, or you can stay in a nice hotel or choose a very contemporary one, Airbnb. Number 3, where and what to eat. Today, I share some specialty of each country and cities, and people connected through social media nowadays follow KOL, key opinion leader, sharing, and to find out more about the local specialty, a place to visit, or the things to do. In the end, the only thing as a tourist can bring back with them is their memory. So all these elements are part of the hospitality and tourism industry. As a service provider, how can we enhance our customers' memory? And through tangible or intangible services, we can offer a better experiences. That can be a place, or can be food, or can be service, and so on. This is why it's so exciting to work in this hospitality and tourism industry. When we are traveling as a tourist, we want local residents also welcome us and share with us. Then, when we think of this, how can we welcome our tourists from around the world to visit our Hong Kong here? As a hospitality and tourism academic, I'm also doing my best to share with our tourists where they can go and then what they can do as an ambassador. Please join me to do that. Let's become the ambassador of Hong Kong, share our hospitality to the world. Thank you for your time.